they have geared most of our technology, including our adult cell phones. When you have a hard time putting that cell phone down, almost every adult I know has a hard time putting down their damn cell phone and walking away, and they have to do these detoxes, right? We call them detoxes now.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, it's because the tech is built in such a way that it actually hooks our brain chemistry and teaches it to be addicted to the dopamine. The dopamine hit we get when we
Hmm.
look at that, oh, somebody gave me a like, oh, somebody posted this, oh, whatever. And what's happening though is that we are handing over the games and the social media to our kids at younger and younger ages. Now we have this struggle as an adult. Think about it as a young child who doesn't have the skill sets we have to deal with that. Now I'm going to complicate it.
Yeah.
They are being conditioned, their brains are being conditioned, deconditioned to violence over and over again.
Hmm.
Think about the games. Think about things. When I was a kid, okay, and growing up, when I was a kid, there was all sorts of things we played. One of the things some of my cousins used to love to play with me was cowboys and Indians. Now I know it's a stereotype. I know it more than anybody because I shouldn't say more than anybody, but I know it very well because I'm half native. So forget the stereotype and just play with me for a minute. And that when you're kids, you're playing cowboys and Indians. And what do cowboys and Indians do? They fight each other, right? So we're out
Right.
there with our pretend bows and arrows and our, or our twine with the with the willow bent arrows, and
Yeah.
our little six guns, and we're playing. But when somebody gets hurt, you worry if you haven't fired your arrow right, or somebody gets too close and you get clocked with the back of a six gun or something like you saw in some old West show. When they're in a shooter game, we'll just use that as an example, keep it narrow. That's not what happens. You have something on the screen that the brain is locked into and it follows it through to its inevitable end. And it's graphic. Now, the brain, what a lot of people
Hmm.
don't understand is what the brain doesn't sit here and say, that's real, that's not real when it views something on the screen. It doesn't do that. Our brain doesn't do that. We actually have to bring our consciousness to it and say, that's not real. But our brain has already taken that in and processed it like it's real. So we have a bunch of high schoolers, junior high schoolers, a lot of them who have seen that kind of content through all these sources of media with no filter.
Over and over and over.
And so it isn't as real to them as if they would have just played with sticks and rocks and being really a little bit dramatic here. But it's not the same thing in real life as it is on the screen. But when we take care of our brain in that way, it deconditions it to that violence. So I'm adding a layer to what you're saying because I think you're absolutely spot on when you say, well, my kids, for example, you explained how your kids know how to handle a firearm. How many kids in the United States actually know what to do if they see a firearm?